Can Aston Villa prove that we are title contenders with a win over what seems like the champions in waiting, Arsenal, at Villa Park this Saturday? Tomorrow, as I record this, it's going to be an absolutely huge game. It's going to be crazy, to be quite honest with you. But before we get into that, we are now 82 subscribers, I think it is, away from 4,000 on the channel, plus 2 from the last video. Can we get another 2 of you legends on the channel? Go down below, leave a like, subscribe if you are enjoying the content and all the content that is still to come. There's so much Villa stuff that will be coming on this channel, including my dream January transfer window, which will be out hopefully at the beginning of next week. If you do play FPL, code is on the screen as well. I'll put a screenshot up. I had another stinker. I'm 39th out of 49 in my own league. Can a few more of you join so I'm like mid-table? That would be great. The team I've got this week, I also don't have much hope. So let's just preview this game. And here we have it. Aston Villa versus Arsenal at Villa Park. It's going to be absolutely huge, and you'll see why when we look at the table. We look at the predicted lineups. That's slightly different from what I'm going to do, which you will see coming right up. But we look at the Arsenal team. Very, very interesting. Now, we know how Arsenal play. They don't concede goals. Let's have a look. Why? David Raya, probably one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. Their back four is all centre-backs. And that's all centre-backs given the fact that they have 3 centre-backs injured who usually play. So they play 4 centre-backs at the back. They have Odegaard, fair enough, attacking midfielder. But then Zubimendi, another defensive midfielder. Lewis Skelly is another defender. So that's 5 defenders and a CDM in the team. Their striker, they signed as a CDM in Marino. So that's 2 CDMs and 5 centre-backs. That's 7 of their 10 outfield players. We know Arsenal's tactics, right? They're a fantastic team. They're brilliant on the ball. They dominate games, but they don't concede because they do ultimately just really park the bus and play defensively, and they don't give other teams chances. They starve the game, and it's quite boring to watch. But hey, it's working. They are top of the league at the moment. Their main attacking threats, Saka, Madueke, Martinelli. Obviously, Declan Rice would still come back in. That's another CDM, in case you didn't know. And they did rest a few players going into this Villa game. They knew that we are the threats. In terms of injuries, Mosquera came off, I think, in their last game that they played. I think it was a 2-0 win over Brentford. Gabriel won't be back for this game. Saliba might be back. I bloody hope he isn't, because he's a fantastic defender, although we have seen Ollie Watkins get the better of him in the past. But if Gabriel and Saliba are both injured, that gives us an opening, I think. Trossard, unsure, and then Kai Havertz shouldn't be back for this game. So they are missing a few of their sort of key-ish players. I think if I open this, it should hopefully give me the Arsenal. There we go. So this is their last starting XI. If we go to their squad over here, actually stats is what we want. We'll see their top scorer, obviously Eze with the hat-trick, but Saka in there. They have Victor Gyökeres on the bench. Declan Rice with the most assists for that team as well. So they have a really, really good, well-rounded team. And I'd expect a few more of those players possibly to get the nod in this game. I don't know whether Marino will start. Maybe they'll bring in Gyökeres. Will Madueke start, or will they put Saka ahead of Martinelli, swap wings for those two? I don't know. Rice, I would imagine, would get probably the nod over Lewis Skelly as well. But I imagine they'll keep the back four the same, bar Saliba coming back in if he is fit. Now, why is it such a big game? Well, there you go. There you bloody go. In terms of the table, what does it mean? Well, Villa come into this game third, 27 points. Arsenal obviously come into the game first, 33 points. Now, we play Arsenal twice this month. So technically, if we beat them twice, we could go equal on points to them if we win every other game and they win every other game. But even just getting a point here would be absolutely huge, because a point would mean that we will stay in the top 4, no matter what the other results do, which is all really we want. And it means that we could stay third over Chelsea, who have a trip to Bournemouth on their hands. Now, it's going to be really tough. You know, you look at the Premier League last 5 matches table. Look at that. We are literally right next to each other, right? It's us, City and Arsenal, the 3 outstanding teams. Home-wise, again, Arsenal, unbeaten at the Emirates, but we are right there as well on 16 points. Away form, it doesn't get much worse for Arsenal. They are joint top, only 1 loss away, 4 wins and 2 draws, 1 loss in there as well. In terms of XG, look at that. Arsenal right up there at the top of the XG table. So we have our work cut out. But in terms of head-to-head, since Emery's taken over, it's not terrible reading. They beat us 4-2 in February 2023. Then we got that massive 1-0 victory. John McGinn, that was the week that we beat City and Arsenal in the same week at Villa Park. They then beat us in the first fixture of we beat them in the first fixture of last season, 2-0. That was the... Or was that the second? They did a double over them that season. That was the season we done the double over them. Watkins scored that amazing second goal where he dinked the keeper. That was outrageous. I think Bailey got the first goal. Then they beat us 2-0. And then that was the first game of last season, wasn't it? I think one of the first games of last season. It ended our massive unbeaten streak at Villa Park. And then the last game was the 2-2 draw. Martinelli and Havertz, Tielemans, and then Watkins again. If we look at the lineups, you'll see it's not too dissimilar, perhaps, to what we'll be doing today. Maatsen, Mings, Ramsey, the 3 that you'd imagine wouldn't get the nod. But they, you know, apart from a certain man at right back, their team not overly different either. So we've proven that we can do it against this Arsenal team, but can we do it on Saturday? Well, this is how I'd line the lads up to try and get that result. And it is the 4-4-2, obviously, and it's a little bit different. We'll go through why I've done what we've done. Now, Emi Martinez, the only information we've had is that he felt a bit of back pain in the warm-up against Brighton, and that's why he didn't start. Obviously, he has history with Arsenal. I assume he will want to start this game, and he will play this game and hopefully put in a very good performance. At right back, because it's our only option, is Matty Cash, and also he's been all right the last few games. He's going to have a lot to deal with this game, and like it could be Martinelli, it could be Saka, you know, you could have Gokares trying to get in between Konsa and Cash. It's going to be a lot. Now, Konsa's going to be key to this game. We need Konsa on fine form. We need Konsa on fine form. That's it. You know, full stop, underline, bold, italics, whatever you want to do to it, highlight it. We need Konsa on 9 out of 10 form against Arsenal. There's a reason they're top. There's a reason they're at the top of the XG table as well. They create chances. They carve teams apart. We need Konsa to be on it. Pau, because Mings is injured pretty much, and I don't think we start Lindelof in a game of this magnitude. He is going to have to be his fine self as well at the top of his game. And then I've gone for Luca Digne at left back. If they start Madueke, I was there when they beat us 3-1 in the FA Cup. And I know that Madueke was playing against, in these 2 positions was Moreno, and I think it was Longley started that game. But he tore us apart for Chelsea that game. Digne's going to have his hands full there. The only reason I go for Digne and not Maatsen is because obviously Maatsen started the game midweek, which I assume was to give Digne and his little 31-year-old or 32-year-old legs a rest so that he would be fresh and fit for this game. Now, on the left-hand side, I've gone for Rodgers. That's purely because I've gone for Tielemans in that number 10 role and McGinn on the right. Guasson dropping down. I think McGinn offers a bit more defensively and he offers the spirit and the heart. And Tielemans, we need this midfield 3, and we'll go through that in a second. I've gone for Onana and Kamara. Now, out of these 3, there's actually one that I think is the most important to start this Arsenal game, and that is Onana. Why? Villa are not very good in the air defensively. When we don't have Mings in the team, Konsa, for all of his brilliance, isn't the strongest defender aerially. Cash isn't that great in the air. Pau is not very good in the air at all. In fact, I'd say it's his main weakness as a defender. And Luca Digne is about 5'5". How many goals do Arsenal score from free kicks and corners? Whether it's a header itself or a header back across the box and someone taps it in, their main threat is set pieces. So we need Onana in there to just get his head on everything and just mop up effectively. Kamara to hopefully get us a little bit of calm and composure on the ball and keep possession. We know we're not going to win the possession game. Arsenal are going to have more possession than us. I'm convinced of that. However, we need to be calm when we do have it. And then Tielemans, again, because he can drop in, if needed, into that midfield three and combat Arsenal's midfield three, because they play the 4-3-3. And Tielemans has the elite passing range to spray it forward to Watkins. Arsenal, a bit like how Man City do, a bit like how Bayern do, PSG do, Liverpool do. They leave defenders one-on-one because they trust their defenders. They have great 1v1 defenders. Now, Watkins has had joy doing this before. Don't forget, it was that Tielemans-Watkins combo when we beat them 2-0 at the Emirates that unlocked their defence when they were pushing forward. If we can do that again, we can strike gold. And then Watkins, because he scored 2 goals against Brighton, and when Ollie Watkins is on a purple patch, he just scores goals. We know he supports Arsenal. We know they tried to buy him. We know he scores a lot of goals against Arsenal. So he gets the nod, as well as the fact that if they have 3 defenders out injured, their defensive options are lacking. They could get leggy because a lot of them had to play in midweek. That's when you bring on the speedster, Donyell Marlon, to make another instant impact. That's the team I'd send out. What do I think is going to happen in this game? Let me tell you, you might not like it. So, Aston Villa versus Arsenal at Villa Park, at Villa's Fortress. We have a good, well, I say we have a decent record against Arsenal. We play better against better teams. We've already beaten Tottenham and Man City this season. And I know Tottenham are a little bit floundering at the moment, but they're still a good team. We've beaten Brighton. We've beaten Bournemouth 4-0. You know, we're beating the big teams around us. We've still got some big games to play. Obviously lost against Liverpool, but we do up our game against these better teams. The last time we beat Man City 1-0, we beat Arsenal 1-0. So what do I think is going to happen? I'm going to have to be completely 100 and transparent, as I always am on this channel with you guys. If I say it how I see it and how I feel it, I think Arsenal are going to win 2-0. I think Villa have been really, really good, obviously, since we floundered around in the first 5 games of the season. But I look at us and I think we're good enough to challenge the top 4. I don't think we're good enough to challenge that top 2/Premier League at the moment, how we've been playing. Now, we have raised it in the past, and I think, bloody hell, wow. And if we go out and we win this game, you have to put Villa in the conversation. I see so many clips. There was one on Match of the Day when they were interviewing Madueke, and they said, are you in a title race with Liverpool, City, Spurs, Chelsea? Where are we in that? No one respects us. And that, the underdog, no one respecting you, that can be a weapon. You can weaponise that. But Arsenal and Arteta, mate, the guy brings in pickpockets to make them more aware. He is not going to be underestimating Villa. Emery is going to be drilling those players on how to beat Arsenal. He has the history with Arsenal. It feels set up for Villa to win. But I genuinely think Arsenal are too good. And I'll be honest with you, their fans, their fan TV, how their fans are on Twitter, I can't stand them, if I'm being completely honest. But I just think they're too good. But we'll see. What do you think? Comment down below. I'll see you on Saturday for the review. I hope it's a good one.